Hello, this is my first video vlog, if you will. So bear with me if I'm a little awkward or anything like that, because this is my first time, but it seemed fun. So, and a great way to answer your questions. So I had a bride submit a question last week about what to ask your florist when you meet with them. So I'm just gonna go through and answer the question and give you 5 tips on how to make your floral meeting the most efficient you can, and make it to where your vision comes to life. So before we get into the 5 questions to ask your florist, a little bit of prep work before you go to the meeting is super important. So I've had a bride come in before for a floral meeting, and bless her heart, didn't have anything picked out, had no idea what she wanted for flowers, which was totally fine, but the floral meeting lasted like 3 hours because of that. So keep in mind that before you go to your floral meeting, just make sure you do your homework, have all of your Pinterest boards ready to go. I suggest actually making a separate Pinterest board for your flowers, separate from your actual like wedding Pinterest board, one with just flowers, so then your florist can scroll through and see not only, what styles you're being drawn to, but what colors, what shapes, if your style is more free and flowy or if it's more like tight and structured. So definitely have your pictures, your inspiration boards ready to go before you get to that meeting. It will help when you get in the meeting. Use your time to actually communicate your vision and help your florist so you guys can actually plan your vision instead of spending 3 hours trying to decide what your vision is. And if you need help on that, talk to your planner, talk to a friend who has already gotten married, or message me. I'm more than happy to help you kind of go through and see what your vision is. Pinterest helps a lot. So have your mood boards ready, number 1, and then have any swatches that you have. So for your bridesmaids dresses, your linens, any sort of place card you're gonna have on the table numbers, anything like that, anything that's gonna be near the flowers. If you have an example or swatch, bring it with you so you can hold it up to a flower or a picture of a flower that your florist is gonna show you and see what it will look like. Second thing to do before you get to your meeting is realize that flowers are expensive. It's a good range. Oh my gosh, there's a family of turkeys that just walked in our yard. I'm sitting, Alex has got to come look. They are in the front yard. Anyway, sorry, they caught my eye. I'm sitting in front of the window. Anyway, realize that flowers are expensive. I've seen them cost anywhere from $700 to upwards of like $5,000. So know that they are expensive. There is a range, so just be aware of that. And they're expensive. They're even more expensive if you're picking exotic or specialty flowers. So just keep that in mind. Don't have a heart attack when you get to your floral meeting. So once you get to your floral meeting, I have 5 questions that would be really helpful for you and your florist. So grab a pencil, write these down. Number 1, at your floral meeting, ask the first, okay, do you hear Alex? He has a turkey call that he has. Anyway, so ask what's included. So florists do it lots of different ways. Some, it's more a la carte. Some have, 3 or 4 different packages with 3 or 4 different ways you can order your flowers. So ask them, and I'm sure you're gonna know that before you go once you hire them, but definitely reiterate what's included and what will be an extra cost. So then after that, go through and they'll probably list out what's included, and these are just some of the things that will be included. And you should also include in your homework, backtracking a little bit, when you get your Pinterest boards ready, know that you're gonna have to pick out your bouquet, your bridesmaids bouquets, your boutonnieres, your pin-ons or corsages for your grandmothers, mothers, anybody else who you want to have a special flower. Flower girls, if they're gonna have petals in their baskets or if they're gonna wear any sort of like wreath around their head, know that you're gonna have to pick that out. Your altar decor, so any decor that you're putting up on top of something, any sort of garland, any sit around flowers around your altar, go ahead and have that in your mind before you go. And then anything in your aisles, so if you have aisle markers or if you're gonna have petals in the aisle, go ahead and start thinking about that. And then your centerpieces, so a lot of the times florists will do like a tall centerpiece, a medium one, and a short one. So go ahead and start thinking about that. So make sure that all of those things and more, there's a few more on this list, but make sure you're thinking about those before you go, and then make sure that those basic things are included in your package. So that's the first thing to do. The first question to ask is what's included. Then after that, I would ask about, really nail down on the specifics on that. So for your centerpieces, ask if the vases or things that hold the flowers are included. So clear vases, any sort of specialty vases, any sort of decor that's going to go with the flowers, ask about that. So number 1, ask what flowers are included. Number 2, ask what vessels your flowers are going to go in if they're included. If they are included, ask what their return policy is on that. So are they going to come get them, or are they yours, or do you have to return them later on? Definitely ask that question so you don't get charged later on. Number 3, what is your return policy for the vases and centerpieces? If it is your responsibility to return the vases and centerpieces, or if it's your responsibility to package them up that night on wedding night, I would immediately, as soon as you find that out, turn to your wedding coordinator or wedding planner and make sure that's on their radar, because you do not want to be the one to have to worry about that wedding night. So question number 4, what greenery do you suggest, what greenery does your florist suggest going with your flowers that you've picked out so far? So a lot of people don't realize that greenery is super important in florals, because think about it, if you have a vase and you put like 4 roses in it, they're gonna flop around like this. So the greenery, they use it to fill it and support the flowers so they're not flopping around. So it makes things look really full and beautiful. So I would ask your florists what they suggest to pair with the flowers that you've picked out so far, or what they usually use. So, and by the way, I'm not a florist. I just have a little bit of mediocre experience from helping out the venue that I work with, because they include their florals. So we use a lot of the time seeded eucalyptus, ruscus, salal, and silver dollar eucalyptus. And all of those look a little bit different. So like silver dollar eucalyptus has a little bit more of a silver blue tone to it. So it looks really good with whites and lighter flowers, things like that. Whereas ruscus and salal are a little bit more of like a deep green. So they go better with darker color palettes and things like that. So ask about greenery. It's super important, and a lot of people don't realize it is. Also along that lines, if you're going to have any sort of greenery garlands like on your sweetheart table or on your arbor and your hair, make sure you bring that up as well, and make it a point to say, if you don't want any flowers in it, just say greenery, and make sure it matches the greenery in your centerpieces and other flowers around. So question number 5, ask about delivery, setup, and takedown. This is super important, and a lot of florists do it differently. So most florists do offer setup services, but definitely double check, because if they don't, you or your planner or your coordinator, they're going to be the ones responsible for setting up all the flowers, which can be a little bit difficult. So if your planner is going to do it, they may charge a little bit extra for setup, so double check with them about that. But keep in mind that you do not want to be the one setting up your flowers on wedding day, because it takes a while. So confirm delivery and setup fees. honestly, if it's a little bit of an extra charge for your florist, I'd go ahead and take it because they know what they're doing and they're gonna make your flowers look the best. Also, takedown fee. So a lot of the times florists will come back at the end of a wedding night and gather up all their belongings, take down the flowers and things like that. So I would definitely ask if they offer that service. If they don't, again, turn immediately to your planner or your coordinator and make sure they have that at front of mind too, because they're gonna be the ones taking the lead on that. So to recap, 5 questions that you want to ask your florist when you meet with them. Number 1, what's included in their package? Number 2, do you charge for vases, centerpieces, or any other decor that goes with the flowers? Number 3, what is your return policy on that decor? Who's responsible for bringing it back? When do they need it back by? Number 4, what greenery do you suggest going with the flowers that you've picked out so far? And number 5, do you have a delivery, setup, and takedown service in your package? If they do, I would add it on. If they don't, ask your coordinator or your planner if they will be the ones to head that up. So in a nutshell, that is what to ask your your florist when you meet with them. And again, going back to the prep work, that's so important for your floral meeting just because you want to spend that time helping your florist plan and execute your vision and not spending that time figuring out what your vision is. So make sure you have your mood boards together. Make sure you're scrolling through and saying, I love sunflowers or I hate roses. Take mental notes of things like that so you know to tell those things to your florist. So again, that's my spiel on meeting with your florist. If you have any questions, please reach out, let me know. And then if you would like a free downloadable worksheet version of this that you can fill out at your floral meeting, then head over to our private Facebook group, the Jackson and June Bridal Connection. Ask to join and you can download it for free. So we'll see you there. Bye.